Hey guys, we're here checking out the August 17th, 1972 issue of Rolling Stone. A classic, the oldest one that I own. Got a great Hunter Thompson 72 election cover story here. Art by Ralph Steadman. Got George McGovern here, Democratic nominee for president at the time. So this is a real classic issue here. Excited to have this one in the collection. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over because it's newspaper style, so it folds out a weird way. So here we go. We're gonna turn it over right now. And so yeah, we got the inside cover here of Rolling Stone. Picture of Smokey Robinson, who was retiring at the time, or the Miracles were retiring anyway, and he would go on to go solo at this point. But this was when he was just sort of announcing the group's departure. Article about the Newport Jazz Fest in New York here. It says 1972 by Straight Arrow Publishers Inc. on the front here, by the way. All the news that fits. Issue number 115, August 17th, 1972. So, lots of great ads throughout here. Leon Russell. Here's some letters to the editor. Here's a great example of the type of letters we got going in Rolling Stone in 72. From Gary Offier in Cherokee, Iowa, says, living in Iowa is really a drag. Small towns under 250,000 population get secondhand groups and secondhand dope. Why can't the big name groups play in smaller towns more often? I'm sure they aren't all Republican money hogs. Thank you, Gary. Here's the masthead here. Jan Wenner, the editor. Art director, Robert Kingsbury. Got a lot of familiar names here. Paul Scanlon, managing editor. Let's see, Charles Perry, National Affairs Desk, Hunter S. Thompson. Timothy Krause. Joe Esterhaas. David Felton, a lot of Ben Fong Torres, John Landau, a lot of Judah Sims, a lot of well-known people here. Got a contributing editor of sports, Raoul Duke, of course. Hunter Thompson. Photography by Annie Leibovitz. I believe this opening photo here, yes, indeed, the Smokey Robinson photo is Annie Leibovitz right here. So random notes here. This is sort of like press, I'd say mostly kind of industry press, people changing managers and stuff. We got Bob Dylan here, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, right? Got a Rolling Stones story here. Fillmore East sold. McCartney playing in the south of France, right? Van Morrison ad here. Here's a more in-depth article about the Smokey Robinson retirement, Ben Fong Torres. The Eagles. All right, so this is a good one right here. This is I think right when the Eagles blew up, basically, from Taking It Easy. This was like their first big profile in Rolling Stone, I would imagine. By Judith Sims. Some Boone's Farm Strawberry Hill wine, open all night. Like this is the classic cheap stuff right here, I guess. George Carlin, kind of at the top of his game at the time. Good article on him here. Rod Stewart, all right. How Marjo quit the Jesus Hustle. I think this is about a former child preacher. Marjo Gortner is his name, which is an interesting, sort of a long article here. Hollies. This is about Harvey Matusow, who I guess was a sort of famous kind of communist informant, I guess, during the the Joe McCarthy sort of hearings, and then I guess he went on to reinvent himself as some sort of weirdo. Alan Toussaint, complete. Here's Ike and Tina ad for Tina went solo. Here's a whole article about our like America's weird history with cocaine as like, you know, a medicinal kind of thing back in the 1800s and early 1900s. Here's Chicago 5, I think, maybe, you know, their first super crossover album, I think. More about cocaine here. Here's a Ralph Gleason perspective vote for upwing candidates based on this Bob Dylan lyric. There's no right wing or left wing. There's only upwing and downwing. Interesting. Use at your own risk. These tapes may alter your consciousness. Here's a great ad here, which includes acupuncture. These are tapes to teach you about acupuncture, Moog lecture and concert, poetry of madness, American Indian medicine, Hatha yoga class, women's liberation, humanistic approach to politics, the nude marathon, inner space revolution, on being stoned. Some good tapes here. I wonder if I could still order these. Michael Murphy. Here we go. It's the Hunter Thompson article, Fear and Loathing in Miami. So this is an article, basically, you know, one of a series of articles that was collected, you know, in the next year in 73 in a book, Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail 72. This is you know, maybe one of the more notable ones, and this is sort of chronicles the actual Democratic convention in Miami, where George McGovern won the nomination. And, you know, there's a lot of hope in him, and sort of he came from behind against a bunch of different candidates who he sort of chronicles in these articles as well. Some great art, of course, from his longtime collaborator Ralph Steadman here. Ralph Steadman art, you know, throughout is really great. Here's a great sort of centerpiece to the issue. It says Ralph Steadman on the something convention hill, Miami, 1972, and it's McGovern saying, "Come home, America," and got all the states here, including Gonzoville, which I guess is where Hunter lives. And, you know, got all the alligators out here, which is nice. Ralph Steadman, God, can't beat him. I don't actually know what this is depicting. Got a Shirley Chisholm sign in the back. Maybe this is just like a sort of reporter, because he has a camera on his head and a recorder. But, you know, this is a great article. It's a pretty long one, but, you know, you should just read the book. Here's, I guess, some black voters, you know, voting. It's signs like Shirley Chisholm for president. Shirley Chisholm was like one of the first, like, I'd say, I guess, serious black candidates for president. That was, you know, in 72, sort of a big deal. Other signs here: no repairs, no rents, end racist unemployment, $6,500 now. We shall overcome, and we shall overcome again. Here is, here's a sort of depiction of, in a wheelchair, I'm totally blanking on his name, George Wallace, who, you know, was sort of known as being a sort of vitriolic, racist, you know, Southern strategy Democrat, basically, and really sort of polarizing figure here. And he, you know, he was in a wheelchair because there was, I believe, an assassination attempt on him. And this is, I guess, depicting, or it's someone shooting him. He's already in a wheelchair, but anyway, this is pretty crazy. Ralph Steadman. Here's another one that I'm not totally sure who this is depicting. I'm sure someone can tell me in the comments. KLM. Here's the media, I guess, barfing into their drinks. Fender ad. Here's some number of candidates, I'm not sure which, looking like dinosaurs, I guess. Arlo Guthrie, Hobo's Lullaby. Here's sort of a depiction of, I guess, the convention center in Miami with a bunch of stuff written on the walls. There's McGovern, top of the heap on, I guess, all the other loser candidates here. Maybe Hubert Humphrey, maybe, I don't know, and Wallace again. This is really interesting. Anyway, I think that's the end of the Hunter Thompson article, but this is really funny to me because this is like an early example of branded content where they like, you know, advertorial, where they sort of make it look like an editorial article, but it's really just an ad for David Ackles' American Gothic album. I think that's true anyway. Here's the record review section. This is always fun. We got Elton John's Honky Chateau, Eric Anderson, Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway, Arthur Lee, Jackie DeShannon, Harry Nilsson. Randy Burns, Archie Shepp, Wishbone Ash. Alright, I don't honestly know any of those groups on that last page. We got, let's see, Peter Frampton, Ornette Coleman, Electric Light Orchestra, nice. Cheech and Chong, alright. This is a creative subscription advertisement here. Got Moses, says, read the stone. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's copy. Thou shalt subscribe for thyself. Use coupon. And some sort of equipment reviews here. Artist tour calendar looks like here as well. Seals and Croft ad. Movies, The Candidate, the Robert Redford movie, and Prime Cut combo review here. A lot more music equipment advertising going on at the time. Book reviews, nice. Strange Peaches, Lennon Remembers. And then the, wow, we got the classified ads here. Did I miss the beginning of it here? No, this is different. But yeah, the classified ads here, pretty interesting. You get order bongs, slide guitars, far out hammocks, bicycle alarm, books about drugs, water beds. So like really contraceptives for men, but privately by mail. Like really whatever you need, they got in the Rolling Stone classified section here. And I guess this is free classifieds for musicians to advertise for their, you know, new members for their bands. So we're getting, I think we're basically all done here. Get back to the cover in the back here, which is a parable for musicians. This is an ad from Acoustic. But anyway, thanks for checking out the August 17th, 1972 issue of Rolling Stone. This is a great issue. You know, great representation of the sort of smart, like diverse mix of content they would have in Rolling Stone in the classic era, late 60s, early 70s. You know, and thanks for checking it out.